Assalamualaikum and greetings to our beloved lecturer, Sir Shakirin. We will start the presentation now. Imagine that the world has a very high temperature and everyday's living is like living in a sauna, and every place we go is like we go to the Sahara. Just by imagining it, it can make it suffer, right? So today our topic for the presentation is the effects of the climate change in Malaysia. Before we go further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Fateh bin Hazali and my metric number is 208063, and yep.
Hi sir, my name is Yap Quan Wei and my matrix number is 207646.
So today we would like to focus on three main effects of the climate change in Malaysia. I will first present on the first effect of the climate change, that is reduce the rainfall, and Yap will then discuss on the flash flood and also the submergence of the coastal area. Let's start by talking about the reduces rainfall. We first must know the theory of the water cycle changes as the climate change. Despite the projected heavy rainfall, Malaysia is also at risk of reduced rainfall and prolonged droughts. It is firstly due to the increase in temperature. Do you know that the rising in temperature will intensify the Earth's water cycle? Yes, it will. It will also increase in evaporation, and it will bring two effects. First of all, it will result in more frequent and intense storm, and it will contribute to drying over some land area. This is to say that Malaysia will facing a shortage of clean water. And according to the Star News, reported of the data in 2018 from the National Water Services Commission (SPAN) showed that consumption per capita in Peninsular Malaysia and Labuan has spiked from 2018 compared to 2017. So now let's turn back to the decreases rainfall and what happen if the precipitation change. So too little precipitation can result in dry soil, shallow stream, and also shortage of municipal water supplies. Because of the climate change, precipitation also change, and as a result, the storm affected areas are likely to experience increases in precipitation, and they will experience in flooding, while some areas located far away from the storm tracks are likely to experience less precipitation, and they will experience in risk of drought, meaning that some will have the flood and some places will have the drought. So next, the impacts. Next slide. The impacts. These are some of the impacts of the decreases in rainfall. First of all, it will affect the human health. It will lead to drought. It will limited source of water, and also the crops will get a fewer produced. Next. So this is the flow on how climate change reduces the rainfall. First of all, the global warming will occur. As we know, the global warming occur because of human activities like burning fossil fuels. And then when the global warming occur, it will increase temperature. When the temperature is high, the evaporation also will increases. When the evaporation increases, the precipitation also increases. So it will lead to two main causes. First of all, risk of drought and also risk of flooding. Risk of flooding will be presented by Yap after this. Yap, take it away.
Thank you, Fateh, for the presentation. Next, I would like to continue the presentation by explaining the other effects of climate change, which is flash flood. Flash flood occurs when the water overflows and the excessive water cannot be absorbed by the soil. Flash flood in Malaysia normally happens due to the monsoon seasons in Malaysia. Monsoons happens when the land and the sea temperature differs due to the heatings of the sun's radiation. Firstly, monsoons brings heavy local rainfall to Malaysia. As we all know, Malaysia has two monsoon seasons that has badly affected our country by blowing moist air from different directions depending on the seasons and the local convective rainfall at low-lying areas, and receiving a large amount of rain causing flash floods. Next, increase of the rainfall in Malaysia has caused extreme increase in river discharge. During monsoon season, the areas near the mountain receive substantial amount of rainfall and flow the excessive water into the river, which increase the discharge to the river. Besides that, the sea wave from the South China Sea has caused the phenomenon of the wave set up that increase the water level in the river. If the water level is higher than the riverbank level, the water will overflow and cause flooding. Nowadays, during monsoon seasons, places that have never been affected by serious flooding have become flood-prone areas, and there is a general expectation that with the increase of annual rainfall in Malaysia will make the situation worse, as more areas will become prone to flood, which makes flood to occur more frequently. This will cause damage to property, infrastructure, and livelihood. The other effect of the climate change is submergence of the coastal area due to the rising of the sea level. The greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide results from human activities, trap heats, and leads to a warmer ocean. Sea level is rising at the rate of 0.9 cm per year. If this problem persists, the coastal area are expected to submerge and the mangrove trees are not able to survive, and the rise of the sea level will impede the drainage system and cause more frequent flooding of the coastal area. Submergence of the coastal area due to the rise of sea level happens because of the thermal expansion. The water in the ocean expands when absorbing atmospheric heat results from human activities. And besides that, the melting of the glaciers and the ice sheets also will increase the sea level. The greenhouse gases emitted increase the atmospheric temperature even in the South Pole and the North Pole, thus increase the amount of water in the oceans. Lastly, the changes in the land water storage also will increase the sea level. The land water changes considered to be a collective sum of change of the water in soil, groundwater, lakes, and other reservoirs. Deforestation and the drainage of the wetland cause rise in the sea level. In conclusion, many other countries around the world are taking measures to reduce the pollution by changing the ways they do things, but there are still some people who are arrogant and selfish who refuse to do so. As a responsible individual, we must do our parts to protect our earth for future generations. And these are the references we use for our presentation. And that's all from us. Thank you.